Whenever I did the first mail segment, you guys really universally responded with wanting to see more of it and have me take more of your letters. So I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do this every week, considering it's only been about a week since the last one came out, but every couple of weeks I hope to reach into the mailbag and answer a few. If you want to send me a message, do so over on the Facebook page. Either that or I know that Twitter's not the best medium, so I wouldn't recommend that. If I start to get, way more than I can handle on Facebook, I'll have to start a separate email account and pick out the best. But either way, for now, let's just stick with Facebook. Let's talk about a couple of them now, and let's see what we have this time around. The first one comes from a gentleman named Levi. I actually responded to this one on Facebook already, but this is one that I felt was so good that I wanted to actually also give it to you guys in video format. Hi CKN, my name is Levi and I'm a fan of yours from Ohio, so I live about 3 to 4 hours away from you, LOL. I have a YouTube channel called ThrashManiac99, and as you can tell by the name of the channel, you would think that I'm a thrash metal guy, and indeed I am. My channel is mostly revolved around wrestling, gaming, and NASCAR videos, but I do try to do music reviews, and after seeing your videos about 2 years ago, when I saw you did a Death Discography review series, yeah, it's awesome. Leave a link for that if I can remember. And I love that series, and I've been watching your videos ever since. Loyal subscriber. Thank you, Levi. I appreciate that. When I try to do album reviews, I feel like I don't know how to give an album an interesting review in terms of what to say, rather me keep on saying stuff like, this was a good song, or this riff was great. If you can, check out this particular review I did for Metallica's Master of Puppets album. You left me a link, which I'm actually going to do you a favor, Levi, and leave it on here. That way other people can scope out your stuff. And if there's any advice you can give me whenever I do return to album reviews. Thanks for the great videos. You're the best music reviewer I've ever seen on YouTuber. Thanks for the great videos you put out every day or week. They always entertain me, and keep it up. Metal. Levi. Levi, I did scope out your stuff, and I did send you a message based around what I felt. So this is going to come off as more advice to all reviewers. I do try to listen and watch some of the up-and-coming reviewers' work, so if you want some of your stuff to be looked at, definitely send me a link, and I'll see what I can do. I may not necessarily post them all in the mailbag, because then it would just become me kind of, bashing or reviewing positively other people's reviews, which is something I've thought about doing a la, Mystery Science Theater, but it's just kind of mean. The main thing that I will say to a lot of reviewers that are out there that have the struggles with really coming up with the language that they need is to avoid a lot of superlatives. Superlatives are words that you use a lot to really indicate something's positivity. So if you think that something is the best song ever, don't repeat that over and over again in the review. That's definitely something that kind of knocks things back a little bit. Also, if you are not exactly very strong on the language department or thinking of synonyms and things like that, then definitely research some of those prior to doing reviews. And above all else, the one thing that I can't recommend enough is even review whenever you're not on camera. Sure, this may lead to the event where, you feel like a review that you did not on camera is probably something that should have been on camera, but at the same time, it's great practice for you. It's something where you can continue to craft and hone your skills and make them better based around just something that you're doing. Now, since you do a lot of, things for NASCAR or wrestling or other different things, this is something that can help you as well. It can definitely help you draw upon some metaphor, either that or some comparison points that can really lead to some very interesting topics that your videos, even if they are just about music, can really cover. Almost like saying that perhaps the new Vader album is as crushing as a Roman Reigns elbow or a Roman Reigns boot to the face. Either that or I was stone cold stunned by the fact that this album was so bad. Just things like that. And NASCAR, hey, that's pretty cool. I was just in Florida. I was actually a couple hours away from Daytona. If you ever have the opportunity to go down there and check out that museum for the Daytona 500, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. They even have an interactive driving thingy down there, which was really cool. I haven't been down there in like 10 years or so, but whenever it was down there, it was cool, so I can only assume that they've really made that better. Let's move on to the next one. Dear CoverkillernNation, I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of your videos. They always cheer me up and lead me to make some new amazing discoveries within the metal genre. Personally, I have thought about becoming a fellow music reviewer as well. In fact, that's how I found out about your videos, because I was searching to see how many other people reviewed metal. However, what kind of worries me is that I'm a female and I don't have the metal chick look. My friends call me the metalhead in disguise. I guess I worry that I may come under a significant amount of criticism and people won't take me seriously because of it. Another thing is that I don't even know where to start. Like, how do I know which album to review first? Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that you are fucking awesome, and if you're ever in the Chicago area, hit me up. Sincerely, Jennifer. Jen, I've actually done a little bit of creeping. I crept on your Facebook page and saw what you meant by not having the metal chick look, and I really don't think that that's a bad thing. Actually, I think that could really work to your advantage. Looks are only something that kind of determine what you are, to other people on the outside, but here's the thing. If you really assault things with really good information and have really great opinions, this is something that's not going to matter whatsoever. I really feel that somebody who reviews music, especially in the metal variety, can do just as well looking like, a normal everyday individual rather than, a patched out, decked out person in metal garb, just as well. It's something that really, your information has to be the key point. That's the thing that's really going to draw into your subscribers. And yeah, while there is a lot of people that may subscribe to you based around your looks, if you, have a preppy look, either that or, really show off cleavage or something like that, I can imagine that that would do really well. I mean, there's plethoras of other people that constantly get comments based around their looks and not around the material that they're, really focusing on. Very few among the review community, but you know what I'm saying. While that is out there, I definitely think that if your information is great, then it's kind of going to be a great double whammy for somebody. Somebody that may have that original indication or idea first of all, but then whenever they hear what you have to say, are just going to be duly impressed. And it's going to be something that's going to cause you to, really balloon a lot of subscribers in a hurry, principally because that's what it's all about, your information. Excuse me. As far as where to start, quite frankly, I started with St. Anger because originally the Cover Killer channel, the original channel, was meant to focus on nothing but negative albums, but I noticed that so many positive ones that I wanted to talk about were coming out that it kind of just, manifested itself into what it is today, where I do both negative and positive. In fact, I do more positive than I do angry or negative rants. This is something where it really has to be based around what you want to do. If there's an album that you like perhaps more than all others, maybe that's not the one to start with, considering you want to save that for a special, but it also could be a great starting point, because you can explain to people why. Once again, the information part is what's key, not necessarily just the fact that it's your favorite. If you want to jump right into modern metal reviews, that's something that you can do. It's something where you could easily just hop on with one of the newer albums that are coming out and have that be your start. Just bear in mind that this is something that's going to be a growing process. If you expect instant success and you don't find it, it's easily to get, it's very easy to get discouraged. But don't let it. It's definitely something that's worth the effort and worth the wait in order to build a subscriber base. Let me know if you ever do come on board. I'm definitely going to subscribe to you. And if I'm ever in Chicago, I am going to look you up, because we definitely have to, hang out. Reviewer to reviewer. Alright, let's move on. Once I get my stupid mouse working. This is what happens whenever you copy and paste everything in the notepad. Cover Killer, just watched the Reading the Mail video you did. Thought I'd send you a piece myself. I'm a huge fan of your work. I've even taken time to request your videos to friends of mine, both in real life and on the internet. Thank you. Your notorious review of a Ludivinium shit Sanus still gives me a good laugh to this day. Me too, actually. I just watched it the other night and laughed my ass off. At myself. That's really, really not modest at all. It's quite dickish, but whatever. I have a hard time narrowing exactly what I want to write to you about, so I'll mention a slew of several topics. I'm a bassist for a local East Tennessee metal band, One of the Fallen. Would be honored if you gave our work a blatantly honest critique, even if you think it sucks. I'll be moving to Middle Tennessee in a few months to start college, so being a very transitional part of my life, I found lots of comfort in your videos, as they are enlightening and in some cases hilarious. I also think a Morbid Angel band review would be fantastic, as I'm actually a huge fan of theirs, and we'll be seeing them at Summer Slaughter despite our mutual hatred of the last release. Heretic is my personal favorite album of theirs for a number of reasons. I'd also like to see a review of Nas's debut album, Illmatic, as it would be a very different review for the channel, being a predominantly metal channel, and I know that you do in fact enjoy some rap. Nas is one of my favorite lyricists. I think you'd be very entertained by his discography. I have so much more I'd like to write about, but I must cut it short as you have several more letters to read most likely. Thanks so much for all your time and reviews. Mackenzie. Hi, Mackenzie. I don't typically do requests, but if you want to send me some of your work, since I have now done this publicly, yeah, definitely do that. And while the critique may not be in a video, I will definitely at least let you know what I think. As far as Morbid Angel, Have fun seeing them. I hear that they're still great live, even though the last release was kind of underwhelming. And I see that you're starting college, and that's pretty awesome. Good luck to you. I'm wondering, what is your focal area of interest? What are you going to be studying? Because that's something that always interests me, considering I went in undecided and ended up with 2 degrees in computer science and business, which you see I'm using just every day of my life. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Nas is a tremendous lyricist. This is something that's been ever-present ever since Illmatic, and I'm actually surprised that I've never purchased any of his albums, but I've heard a lot of his singles and stuff. In fact, during the 90s, whenever I was going through a very rap-centered phase in my youth, I listened to a lot of Nas and really liked it. However, it was mostly just stuff that I saw, on TV with the music videos and stuff like that. So this is definitely something that I've considered, but once again, it's something where the interest level for the remainder of the nation is kind of small. It's kind of niche-y, but if the response to this video based around me doing Nas reviews is, very high, or doing rap reviews in general, then I may have to consider it. Let's face it, I'm basically a servant to the nation as their leader. Kind of know how democracy is supposed to be. So let's move on to the next one. This one's actually kind of long, but we're going to get to it. Dear CKN, I'm sending this from across the Atlantic Ocean in the UK. Sweet. While I may never get the opportunity to meet with you face to face, I still enjoy watching your videos, and the rants always leave me in utter hysterics. I kind of wish the Eternal Enemies review was a little more ranty, but I understand that sometimes you have to be rational about things. Yeah, I kind of did. I was hoping, but I'd done it once before. If you ever happen to travel over to the UK, come over to South London, and it'd be cool to talk metal with someone, although I'm going to a university in Wales next year, so, well, that means I'm going to Wales. Your videos have also helped me in terms of religion. I'm a Christian, but your videos helped me to understand the flaws in a lot of organized religion, and then that helped me to reestablish my faith, but in a way which I feel is a lot more accepting of the world, i.e. I don't hate on gay people, although I don't necessarily support the LGBT as much as you may do. My philosophy is trying not to judge people because I sin too, but just in a different way to other people. I don't know how much sense that will make, but hopefully it isn't too confusing. My brain works in a really weird way when it comes to formulating sentences. Anyway, I look forward to many more videos from you, and I look forward to the great new bands I'll be introduced to. This is from Giacomo, who actually sent me a supplemental second part. Anyway, I'm just going to try and rephrase the religion part of my message. I suffer from depression, so wording things can be quite hard. As I got into rock and metal more and more, I found religion was very judgmental about this music, and I chose the music over religion, because ultimately it got me through some dark times. I find a lot of sense in your videos too, because of what you said about realism and the things like that. However, whilst I did go through a time of believing there was no God for most of my life, I couldn't see how the world could have been created by accident. Eventually I came back to Christianity, but in a much more spiritual faith rather than a monotone religious biblical faith that I'm sure you know about, considering how you were raised a Catholic. It's true stuff. I was wondering whether you had ever experienced something like that, a more spiritual approach to the Christian faith, and whether you were convinced that the earth as it is, or are you convinced that the earth is as it is by sheer coincidence, or if there is a creator? Hope this all makes sense. Once again, Giacomo. Giacomo, I like the way in which you actually phrase things, even though I totally bastardized reading it, because I apparently can't read above a 3rd grade level. I've gone through many different stages whenever it comes to faith and spirituality. Being raised a Catholic, it was one of those things where it was not a question that I was going to be raised that way, and it was not a question where I could explore things in my youth. As I grew older, that was whenever that really happened. In fact, for a long time, my parents were firmly convinced that the reason why I started to sway was because of the music that I listened to and because of going to college, when in reality, college may actually have a little bit more of a reason to it because of the fact that, I got the chance to take some other classes that, helped me explore some other faiths, but a lot of this was done by myself. I chose to take these classes, and I chose to really learn a lot more about the different things that are around me. Now, as far as the idea of there being a creator or not, I definitely feel that this all had to happen somehow, and the Big Bang Theory, even though it's something that's, a bit of a debate, definitely has a lot of, universal truth to it, but at the same time, one of the biggest things that I really feel is that you believe what you believe, I'm not trying to be judgmental toward Christians in some of my rants. I'm not trying to tell them that they're foolhardy morons. It's not really what I'm aiming for. If it comes off that way, then I apologize. It's more so something where, if you believe what you believe, then it's not something where you should have to push it on everybody else. It's not something where, you really need to push your beliefs on an entire society and have us all be one universal faith, because that really breeds a lot of contempt. It makes some people really difficult to be around, and in that case, some great relationships or friendships can easily be lost, and that kind of sucks. Personally speaking, I think that this world is kind of what it is based around, years and years and years of evolution, but it had to manifest from something. And plus, even if you cite the Big Bang Theory, then you have to also cite, well, where was the universe beforehand? How did the universe come into being? It's something that's going to always have constant questions, and it's something where there being a universal creator makes the most sense, considering we ourselves have creators. We're born of two individuals, a man and a woman. I'm also glad that you're not as judgmental about people than maybe you once were. That's definitely a step in the right direction. I think it's very easy and actually should be accepted to, be a Christian or be somebody of faith and also not be judgmental of anybody else. Kind of let people live their lives because they're trying to do it just like you are. While individuals that are, committing, huge and horrible crimes are, still really bad people and they're doing things kind of the wrong way, but they may have some reasons behind that. This is something where, LGBT or gay or straight or whatever, none of that's a crime. That's just a lifestyle choice. And in most cases, it's not harming anybody at all. In fact, I'd say in 99 to almost 100% universal cases, it's not hurting anybody at all. But that's a whole brand new argument. Just do what you do and continue your pathway toward positivity. If heavy metal and hard rock and music is what's, gotten you through dark places, then hell, this is what you need. It's something that's definitely a huge part of you. If it's something where the religion has caused you more questions than answers, then maybe it's something where you need to go to the places where you have more solid answers and, believe what you need. Realism is very nice for this, but once again, it's not something that I promote. It's something that's very personal to me, something that's kind of private to me, and every so often I do have conversations that seem like they're going to nowhere, when in reality I think it's just my way of trying to talk through things, and there being a figurehead on the other end speaking back where I'm dictating that just kind of helps my brain rationalize it, as stupid as that sounds. But hey, we all have our ways of coping, and there you go. One more, and this one's good, guys. This is really good. CKN, thank you so much for reading my letter in your CKN Reads the Mail video. Also, thanks for not disclosing my full name or information to the public, as the message was intended just for you. However, after seeing the outpouring of support from your fan base, I'm thankful you read it in the video and appreciate every single person's heartfelt support. I think we know who this is, guys, and this is awesome. It's Tony. It's Tony, guys. It's Tony. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that you really helped me a lot by responding in such an honest and constructive way. While my faith hasn't been restored, I know that maybe I should spend some time researching religion and learn more about it, instead of just feeling this way irrationally. Your book recommendation, The Black Arts by Richard Cavendish, I recommended that message, not in the video, was a great find. It presented a lot of doctrines that many people would be too fearful to explore in a very constructive and beneficial way, and has only fueled my interest. Happy to hear that. Finally, I also want to let you and your supportive fan base know that I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and I feel I've turned a corner in my depression. That's tremendous! Cool! While I still feel a lot of negative stuff in regard to the past couple weeks, I no longer feel that immense void that plagued me when I wrote you the first time. You and your fan base deserve a high level of praise for their supportive nature, and I feel that it's a shame that you only reached 20,000 people when your fan base should be in the millions. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. That means so fucking much to me, man. And really, Cover Killer Nation, anybody who's watching this, give yourself a round of applause. I don't give a shit if you're the only person in your room, or if you're in a room with 75 other people. Give yourself a round of applause right the fuck now. You've all made my world feel a little brighter, so I can't imagine how you could affect a larger audience. If you ever did a spoken word engagement, put me down for 2 tickets. Yeah! 2! I met someone on Sunday night. Sweet! Things are moving slowly, which is good, but she's a great girl, and I hope we hit it off and date. Either way, I showed her your video, and she already told me that if you ever come our way, she'd want to meet you. Just don't steal her from me, you bastard. Haha, just kidding. Thanks again. I can never repay all of you for what you've done. Tony. Tony! Brother Blitzkrieg! Dude, I am so happy to hear that you're doing better. It's only been a week. That's amazing. That's tremendous. There's going to be bumps in the road. I'm just going to warn you now. As a man who's walked down the road of depression and has felt like he's turned corners, there's going to be bumps in the road. And especially for someone like you who's underwent significant change in their life. But I am so glad to hear that all of the support has really, done you some good and has actually caused you to really look at life a little bit more positively. And man, you found that book fast. I had to special order mine, so you must have some pretty sweet fucking bookstores over there. So I'm very happy that they had that book for you. I'm really happy also that you found somebody. That's really cool. Man, I don't know what to say about that. That's really just a cool thing. Definitely cherish that because, you've gone through a lot, and I know that one of the common pitfalls that I fell into is feeling like I couldn't get too comfortable with things because things just eventually fade away. But if she's as great as you're saying, then I don't think it's any question that you guys are going to eventually hit it off and eventually date. And at the same time, I think it's also going to be great for everybody involved. Because if you guys are still talking and she wants to go to, see me in a speaking engagement, then you guys already have A, mutual interest, and B, you guys already have a great rapport to the point where you're sharing things with one another. You're in that great stage of relationships where you can really feel things out. And you're doing it before you're even dating, which is even better because that means once you do decide to take that leap and take that step, whenever you're ready, whenever you're comfortable, then the relationship already has a lot of backbone behind it. It already has a lot of history behind it because you guys know that you're really very compatible for one another. And really, if that compatibility continues throughout the next couple days or weeks, then you guys will know that it'll be meant to be. What do you know, Cover Killer Nation? We may have actually just, saved somebody's life and played matchmaker in the process. That's what happens whenever Cover Killer Nation reads the mail. Send me your letters, Facebook page. It's in the description box below. And I'll see you the next time that we open up the old mailbag and see what the nation has to say to me and what I have to say to them. Later.